Hey, what is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Anglers RX podcast. Thank you for joining us tonight. We are going live with the BAM TOC top three. Top first and third, and Damian quite isn't here yet. I believe he was out fishing the forebay again. But we also have Angler of the Year, Joey Silva. He is in our presence tonight, and we are going to kind of see if these guys can kind of break down what their plans were going into the event and kind of how it panned out for them. First, I want to take a moment, just kind of share out there, guys. Headwaters Adventure Company, we're going to be having a fish and chill event up at Lake Don Pedro on October 12th. It's just a fish and chill event. Don't bring money. There's no prizes, no tournament. Just kind of decompress a little bit from the tournament action and just kind of build some fellowship and camaraderie and just help maybe some new people that are wanting to come out and dabble into a little bit of tournament fishing but don't know where to start. We really would love for you all to kind of come out and join us. We're going to do a potluck afterwards, so just bring something, simple and chill. No, you don't need to bring anything to heat up or anything like that. We're just going to kind of bring it back to the OG days and just enjoy that time out on the water and come back, bring some brewskis if you want, and just chill. So it might be something that's going to build out to an ongoing thing. We're going to try to hit some different lakes, maybe build it up to a camping event and whatever back maybe in the springtime. So anyways, we'd love for you all to join us, but let's go ahead and get started, guys. Congratulations.
We're going to launch from Moccasin, right?
Yeah, sorry. Moccasin ramp up at Lake Don Pedro, 6 a.m. on October 12th. Maybe fish till about 2:30, and then just get off the water, bring a chair. We'll hit the parking lot and just kind of, sit back and tell some stories and enjoy some time together. So, we're always in a competitive mode, and I think we kind of forget where it all kind of started, and I think it would be nice just to get back and enjoy that time together. So without that, guys, congratulations. We have Jesse Hoover, who won the BAM TOC. He won with a total of 187.5 inches. Damian, he took second with 185 3/4 inches. And then Max Lee took third place with 176 inches. So, guys, how'd you feel about those bags?
I was pretty happy with my bag on day one and seeing that I had, a decent lead. I think I had like a 4-inch lead or 3-inch lead on D1 or day one. But it definitely wasn't very comforting knowing that Damian was in second behind me.
Sure.
So I don't think I slept very good, on Saturday night knowing that.
I don't think anyone sleeps well when Damian said,
behind me.
Yeah. Well, we had that conversation a couple weeks back. I mean, you were obviously leading into day one after day one. And, Damian had that conversation. It's really tough to be leading a event after day one, and going into day two. It could be anyone's game still. So, as long as you are pretty close within inches. But did you sleep that night, Jesse?
Not very well. Not very well. I had bad memories. I was leading day one last year as well at the BAM Championship, and Joey was in second place behind me there. And as we all know, he came back and I kind of dropped the ball on day two, and he brought in the biggest bag of the tournament and took the win. So no, I didn't sleep very well.
Yeah, that's usually how it goes.
I feel like sometimes it's easier on you to be the one that's chasing than to be the one that's leading.
I think so. Yeah.
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 There's less stress on you.
Yeah, when you're leading it, you know, you get out there, it's 10 o'clock and you haven't been bit yet. And you're like going, oh, man.
Yeah.
Well, and then, you know, I think it's one of those things you're leading and then it's like, well, what do you do the next day, right? Like, is the bike going to even be the same? Is your plan even still going to pan out? And is there enough fish in the areas you were fishing? I mean, there's all these things that can go through your mind. And you know, if you're sitting in the background a little bit, I mean, you know, you might not be as worried as much. I mean, you still are to an extent, but you know, it's still, I mean, you know, if you're at day one, you're leading by 10 inches. I mean, you got a little bit of a buffer. I mean, still things can happen, but you guys were pretty close. Let's see, Jesse, you were 92 3/4 and or 92 3/4, and Damien was at 88.5 after day one. So, I mean, at that point, that's not a lot of buffer. you know,
it's not like I was on anything, you know, super special. Like I had a big school of fish to go to or anything like that the next day. It was just it was an all-day grind. I caught a lot of fish, but the bigger fish were just few and far between, and you kind of just had to hunt them out. So I knew it was going to be, you know, another grind the next day, and I think I could have just as easily came in with 88 inches on day two versus, you know, what I came in with. So that's, you know, that was my biggest worry, is that was I going to run into those better quality fish and be able to get them to bite?
Sure. So what was your plan going into the event, Jesse?
So I didn't get an opportunity to pre-fish, but I wanted to choose a launch area that was kind of away from the majority of the guys launching. I figured would be launching out of the Fairview ramp. So I launched out of I forgot what that ramp is called. It's just right off the main lake. It's
starts with a B, I think.
Clark Springs. So I launched out of Clark Springs.
Completely wrong.
Which is just on a little creek arm off the main lake there, but it's about 4 miles from the Fairview ramp. So I figured, you know, if I was lucky, I wouldn't get a lot of other competitors in the area, and I would, you know, pretty much have it to myself. And it turns out I was the only guy that launched there, and the only other competitor I saw on day one, about halfway through the day, was Reed. So I didn't see anybody else in the area. So I had it to myself. And then day two, I didn't see anybody else. I had the entire area to myself, and I think that helped out because I could just stay on the troll motor, cover water. I didn't have to worry about somebody being on the next point or the next spot. I can bounce around freely and just keep searching for those better quality fish.
Sure. So what was your plan of attack? Not fishing or pre-fishing. What was your plan of attack? Like what did you have tied on? What were you going to?
Day one, I pretty much had everything tied on. I think I went out there with like 12 or 13 rods, everything from, you know, A-rigs and crankbaits and top water and jigs and minnows and drop shots and everything. But I started out on a main lake point just right outside the creek arm there. It's a if you look on Google Earth or you look on any you know, topographical map, it is like the biggest main lake point in the area. I started out there, and luckily, you know, I pulled up on it, dropped my you know, forward-facing sonar down, and immediately I saw a bunch of fish. And they weren't schooled up; they were kind of just individual roamers, or they were in, you know, groups of maybe 2 or 3 at the most. And I could tell they were decent-sized fish as well. So I pulled up a drop shot. I think that was the first thing I threw, and that's pretty much that's all I fished the rest of the tournament from there.
Interesting. So let me ask you, were they on the bottom suspended?
They were all over. You had fish on the bottom. You had fish suspended out off the side of the point. On top of the point, they'd be, you know, more related to the bottom.
Were they chasing the drop shot down and hitting it on the fall?
Initially, when I first, you know, started casting to the fish I was seeing, I was just fishing a traditional drop shot rig, a 6-inch robo worm, 3/16 ounce weight, and they just weren't reacting the way I wanted them to react. They would either, you know, if they were suspended, they would lose interest in the bait, you know, halfway down, and they would peel off, or, you know, they would follow it down, and shortly thereafter they would peel off. So I started, you know, first I kind of started switching up my baits, and I got a bait that they would at least bite more frequently. And I think the bait I switched to, which was a Mega Bass Hasdong shad. It's just a small little, you know, 2 3/4, 3-inch bait. And I got more fish, the fish that were suspended, I was able to get more of them to stay interested in it longer, to follow it all the way down. Or the fish that were on the bottom, I could cast it to them. They just showed more interest in it. And I ended up doing really well on that. I would kind of dead stick it on the bottom, and they would just eventually, pick it up and eat it. But a few things I kind of noticed as the morning went on is, especially as the sun came up, is that, and I think Bray mentioned this on stage, because I had talked to him about it on day 2 when they had the camera boat on me in the morning, is that I feel I was using the traditional shiny drop shot weight. And I felt like when the sun came up and the sun may have been reflecting off of the weight, but if they're suspended and they would come up to the bait as it was falling, they would see the weight and they would peel off. Or if it fell down next to them on the bottom, they would kind of go in the other direction. So I switched up to like a matte black finish weight, and inadvertently, the only other matte black finish weight I had in the boat, it was a heavier weight. The combination of the smaller bait, the heavy weight, and then the matte black finished weight was definitely the keys to getting more bites. I think I went from maybe getting 1 out of every 10 fish I cast to bite, to more like 7 and 8 of every 10 fish I cast to, I'd be able to get to bite.
Interesting. Like, that's just something I've never.
I mean, the nice thing about it is is I think just like flipping a big weight, right, where it triggers, it's a reaction strike, and it triggers those fish to eat it on the fall. I started to get all of the suspended fish I was catching. They wouldn't follow it down. They would eat it before it ever even got to the bottom. So it would trigger falling fast enough for them maybe not to get a good look at it, or they didn't want to lose it, so they would eat it on the fall versus following it all the way to the bottom.
Yeah, that's the bite I know up there. Like the 2 out of the 3 years I was up there, the bite was like that for me. I literally find a roamer, throw the drop shot out there, throw a little heavier weight, and they would hit it. They would right to it, and they would hit it, and it was such a fun bite, So I was wondering when you said drop shot, I'm like, oh man, don't tell me, were they on the same pattern?
Yeah, it's awesome when you watch it too on your forward facing. You could see them come up, you see your bait falling, and then you see the fish swimming off with your weight, hanging below them further into the water, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely fun. I mean, kind of like minstrelling in a way, before Joey came to the scene. So
you were nose hooking your bait,
throwing a drop shot out there, and not really strong.
I was, just a little, I think size 2 mosquito hook. And I think I was throwing a 5/8 ounce weight. That's what I was throwing.
And you were throwing it in the wood a lot?
You broke up there. I'm sorry. No, I actually, coming into the tournament, I didn't fish hardly any of the wood, any of the stumps. I thought they were going to be in the stumps in the wood like they were the last time we went up there. But they're pretty much just either open water, free roaming fish, or they would just be on, flat, nothing banks.
Very good.
Max.
Yes, sir.
How'd your bite? Was it similar, different?
It was basically the same thing. Only thing that I found was instead of finding a magical point like Jesse did to find all his fish, I didn't find any of that. I had to burn a lot of bank. I've never been to Trinity ever before, so that was actually my first ever time there. First ever time fishing for smallmouth. Well, besides Almanor, and we know how that went. So I don't know what to do. I just ran to a channel swing bank, and basically I just turned on a live scope and just started panning around, because I figured it would be cold enough, as in the weather should be cool enough to where the fall patterns would play and they would start pushing bait onto the channel swing banks and such. And so what I found specifically was the same thing. I was drop shotting in about 40 feet of water, except it was with pink dice, and the fish were using the contours like way off of the contours, so they weren't actually on the contours themselves, but they were around the contours, just floating in the middle of nowhere. Day one, I didn't really put it together, but day two, you know, as I showed up to the ramp and I showed up to the same spot and fished the same areas, what I figured out was in the morning or that low light period, because the wind was blowing onto that bank, essentially all the kokanee was getting pushed up into the banks, onto the flats, and onto the points. And so those schools of largemouth, like 16, 17 inches that were pushing those kokanee onto the shore and, you know, onto the points. And so, you know, there was a morning early bite, as in for a swim bait or, you know, a big spoon. I never got on it though. You know, I took the Magnum spoon, nothing. I would throw it down there and they would just look at it and they would swim away. Like they don't want anything to do with the Magnum spoon. But for me, the most consistent bite was the isolated roamers, the smallmouth. Yeah, after I caught my first one on day one, I was like, okay, this is what I have to do, because my first one was, I think, like a 19-incher or something like that. So, yeah, I threw it down there and it just ate it on the drop. The weight thing, I had the same thing on the weight deal as well. What I ended up doing, because I didn't have any painted weights, was I ended up scuffing my weight instead, so it was less shiny. It was a little bit more dulled out. But yeah, same thing applied to me as well. I tried.
Interesting. Just those little nuances you don't think of, like, you know, I never thought
I think
about.
I would have picked up on
it's a
those.
shiny weight, maybe throw.
Yeah, I mean, I tried.
Yeah,
I think it's the smallmouth that were kind of sketchy, because usually like spotted bass and stuff like that, they're attracted to the shiny weight. They'll come up and eat your weight before they even eat your bait. So I mean, I've ran into that a couple times before, but not to the extent like that we did at Trinity. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely makes you think things differently, right? Like you start thinking about all these little changes that could mean something.
Yeah, I just got a whole tackle warehouse order in of painted weights, so I'm good. I'm good moving forward.
Well, maybe try pink. Maybe I don't know, man. Maybe it'll start hitting the weight, right?
Because I mean, I caught some largemouth. You know, some of the schooling largemouth that were in the woods as well, strolling the drop shot dice over it. So you would see the weight and the dice separation, but I would just stroll the dice like right over the tip of the trees, and the fish would come out and eat it, like how you would with a minnow, right? I caught fish doing that. You know, I caught fish on deeper rock, so like on really steep, like 45 plus degree bank, like rock points. There would be one isolated boulder down there, and there would be two smallmouth that were set up on it. And if I throw a drop shot down there and get it to sit on that boulder for long enough, the smallmouth would eat it as well. Those are some of the fish that I caught that were, you know, I coiled in, but the majority of the pattern was really fishing for suspending fish in 40 feet of water for me. They constantly cruise that 40-foot line.
So how long was your leader?
So day one, I tried messing with it. So I saw that there was.
How long was your leader?
Careful, Johnny. We don't need to know size. I'm just kidding.
It was. I varied it on day one. Day one, I went from 12 inches to 24 inches because I was trying to stroll the fish that were in the stick ups to see if they would come and eat it. That didn't really play out, so I just shortened it. I made it like a 12-foot leader, or not 12-foot, 12-inch leader, so about a foot, plus or minus. Yeah. And heavyweight.
What about you,
Jesse? At least as heavy as you could.
I was using about a 2-foot leader.
Joey, we're gonna bring you into this.
Hey, I got.
So you finished.
I wasn't too far off.
You did. I mean, he was right up on everyone's ass too. So Joey took fourth into TOC. So between those two, how'd your plan go?
Yeah, day one, I tried. Day one, I forgot a battery, so I was kind of behind everyone, really trying to like feather my motor, so I didn't cover a lot of water. Didn't really figure out.
Okay, at least it was the motor battery.
And then I actually threw away my 14-inch fish. Didn't think I would need it. I'm like, oh, I'll catch something bigger than 14. Dude, went all day without catching a fifth fish until the last 20 minutes, and then caught a 19-inch smallmouth out of a school. And so
you didn't need it. So you were right.
So you got a lesson learned, right?
It was a stressful day. I'm like, man, I'm gonna be out of this.
Everyone
tournament.
measure those fish.
Yeah, but day two it was exactly what they were doing. That last fish gave me a clue that they were on a deep drop shot deal, and the ones that were willing to bite were the schoolers. So second day I had my batteries. I just put my trolling motor on high, and I would find 20 to 40 fish schools on small rounded points on the main lake. And I think I found like 5 or 6 schools, 20 to 40 fish each. And you would throw that drop shot at them. And I was using a 1/8. I didn't catch on to the heavier drop shot weight. But I would wait for that to fall in 40 feet of water, and they'd all go down on it, and they'd all nose down and look at it, and they'd all peel away. And I think I converted maybe 1 out of 8. I just rotated those schools. And I think they were all like 18.5-inch fish. They were really, really fat smallmouth. But definitely the heavier drop shot weight was the more efficient play. And those guys figured it out. But was onto the right pattern, but I just don't think I was as efficient as everybody else.
Mm-hmm. So was it a dead stick bite for you?
Yeah, it was. I wasn't, really shaking it down there. I was using a short,
shaking it a whole lot,
robo worm, and just waiting for them to pick it up. Just waiting. You'd wait, 40 seconds, and then you feel it. They're on. But yeah, it's crazy seeing 40 smallmouth go down on a bait and just mosey off.
Oh, I'm sure. Yeah, it's like, okay, hold on. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Where'd get one shot going? Too, and then you'd have to come back for them later because they were wise to.
Yeah, I hate when that happens, dude.
I wish I found schools that big. I saw single fish all day long.
Yeah, it was.
And John, you fished the event too. So, I mean, was that bite similar for you too?
So day one, I figured out kind of late in the day. and then I wasn't actually drop shot. I was throwing a shaky head. And then I would throw it into the wood. I'd scan around, see a piece of wood. I'd see the fish in it. I would throw it past the wood, and I'd shake it right into the wood and let it drop in the middle of the wood. I'd just let it sit there, and I'd pick up, nothing be there, drop it down, and I'd pick up, and my rod would just go, you know what I mean, like on it. And I'd start reeling and set the hook.
Sure.
You got to get the fish out of the wood. Then day two, I basically did the same thing, except for I did fish shallow, and I caught a lot of largemouth, nice ones. And then I moved out deeper as the day went on and caught. Yeah, I kind of wish I had one day of practice. It would have sure helped. He was, for me, was a rounded point or a point, main lake, had to be a main lake point. And then if it had stump on it, stumps or the stick up wood, which is like the seedlings from the pine trees there that grew up there, and then it covered it up. And I mean, you'd see those little stick ups 70 feet deep. And I just would scan around until I saw a school of fish and just throw to them, and it was the same thing. It was, I don't, I threw the drop shot. I never got a bite on it. I just was like, I don't get it, because normally this lake is a drop, So I tried day one. I tried top water. I tried a lot of reaction. Never got nothing. Threw a jig a whole bunch, and had a few little taps, but they weren't holding on to it. So I did move to this long slim point, and as I moved over to it, in like 70 feet of water, I saw a big old school of fish, and I stopped and dropped down, and they, like Joey said, just take off. So I didn't spend a lot of time looking for them.
Yeah.
But yeah, day 2 it was good to figure out a pattern. You know what I mean? And for me, it was a point that had wood on it. Yeah, they would, they weren't always in the wood, but they were around the wood. And then you would see a school swim up and or swim by, and then you just cast it to them and hope one of them would bite. And they would. One of them would bite. And if you shook that thing, I wouldn't get a bite. I had to just let it sit, and you pick it
Very
up.
subtle.
They would be there. No, it was just.
I mean,
at first I shook it a bunch.
Yeah, it's just super.
Yeah, and I just threw it out, and I started eating the
Yeah,
salad.
it's interesting.
And then I got a bite, letting it sit. So that's why I'm like, oh, okay, that's easy enough. Dead stick it. So.
Yeah, it's interesting when you're, throwing drop shot, like either you're shaking it and you get bit, or you're not getting bit, and then it could be just dead sticking it, or it could be just as simple as moving it every 10 seconds. I mean, those little changes, I mean, one of them's going to end up getting bit most of the time, or just, falling super fast in front of them. So, so this tournament, kind of changed things up this year. So you had open launch day 1. So you can launch at any ramp you wanted. Day 2, it was a group launch out of Fairview. So after day 1, and you guys obviously finished your day, what was going through your mind launching out of Fairview? I mean, obviously, Jesse, you're about 4 miles away, right? From the area you're on. So, I mean, that's a doable run. So, Joey, how far were you from the area you previously fished on day 1 from Fairview? How far were you?
I launched at Fairview day 1, just because last year I had history there, and I could always fall back on that history if I couldn't find anything. Didn't pan out this time, but that was my logic going into it.
Yeah. Max, you?
I launched out of Fairview. Well, so I wanted to launch so there was another angler that his car broke down that was going to go launch where Jesse launched. And so I was already at Fairview ramp before launch time. I had to go back because I have a double kayak trailer. And so I went back and I picked it up from the Airbnb because we stayed at the same Airbnb. And I just launched out of Fairview both days. My thought process behind it was, since I've never been here and second day is going to be launched here anyways, it's going to be better for me to figure out a pattern here or something to lay back on here than it is for me to, fish the north end or a different launch and then, run to it or try to figure it out. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can look at it both ways. I mean, if you got history in one area and then you got to fish the next day and try to worry that, or, you just launch, like you're saying, out of Fairview. And if you get on a bite, then hopefully you can replicate it the next day. I mean, I think those are some of the things that go through our mind as tournament fishermen, constantly battling. What are we going to do? So, Jesse, day 2, did the bite change for you at all? Or did you just go in and like, I'm just going to go out and do what I was doing?
Pretty much the same deal as day 1. I took the other 12 rods out of the kayak, and I think I showed up on day 2 with like 2 rods. Still only threw 1 rod of the 3.
Yeah.
But I went straight back to the point early, and then I think I picked up a couple. I think I picked up like an 18 and a 19 incher early first thing. And then the bite kind of died just as it did the previous day. As soon as the sun got up, the bite would peter off and the fish would kind of disperse off the point. and then I just stayed on the trolling motor all day and just kept searching for better quality fish. The difference between day one and day two for me is that day one, I didn't catch a single largemouth. And day two, I started to get into the largemouth. I started to find, more largemouth. And the largemouth were the ones, they would be out over like 60 feet of water, suspended like 30 feet down. The smallmouth were related more to the bottom, where they were in, smaller schools. So I started just looking for those single suspended fish out over, deeper water as the day went on. And luckily I was able to, find a couple.
Joey, did the same bite next to the same
compared to the smallmouth?
The largemouth would eat it 100% of the time on the fall. If they bit it, they ate it on the fall. I didn't have to coax them in the bite, and I didn't have to dead stick it. They would eat it on the fall every time.
Yeah, I had large smallmouth schools too. I didn't have a single fish on the fall all day long, and I had plenty of casts on schools. So I think that's where that heavier weight, that Hazadong shad really came into play for Jesse. Was they were reacting to that specific combination really well. And something that I didn't pick up on was that heavier weight, or like maybe using, a minnow swim bait rather than a worm. I think that was a big key.
Yeah. Max, did anything change between day one and day two for you? Same thing, huh?
The only thing that changed was I didn't waste time pre-fishing for day two. Because day one, after I caught my limit around like 10 o'clock, I ran all new water to look for bigger fish, better fish. And, I got on an epic jig bite, the high-tech jig. Yeah. It was ridiculous, but they were all like 12 inchers. So it was insane. I mean, I would just go down the bank and just randomly throw at the bank, and it would pick it up as soon as it hits the bottom. It was ridiculous. It was like fishing a wacky Cinco. But, yeah, besides the fact I didn't waste time to look for a different pattern or a different area, nothing much really changed. If I had to do it all over again, I wish I covered more main lake water areas, because I ran to the back of the creek after I caught my limit at day one instead of running towards main lake. So the better fish for me were in the deeper main lake water stuff.
And when you say deep, we're like, I heard 40 feet. Is anyone fishing out further than 40 feet? Were they kind of sticking in that 30 to 40 foot range?
I caught fish over 60, but they were suspended in that 30 foot depth range.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I had my fish finder set to 55. It seemed like 40 or 50 was the deal for me.
Interesting.
Damien caught in 60 feet of water.
Who was catching as far in 60? Over 60 or down as deep as 60? A little bit, 60. Bud.
In 60.
Yep, no problem.
It makes sense. It makes sense that there would be better fish in deeper water. It's just those 40 feet fish were just more active. They were more proactive to bite. At least for me, they were.
For me, if I saw fish over 60 feet, like I wasn't sure if they would follow it all the way down to 60. So I usually didn't make that cast. But if they were over 40, over 45, I'd make that cast. So I guess it's just a matter of trying. I believe it that they were eating it in 60.
Yeah. Yeah, I hate it. I hate it when you cast out there and they're falling all the way down. I've had them fall all the way down to 50, 60 feet. And then it's like, all right, where's the bite?
Yeah.
I mean, come on. You didn't make all that trip all the way down there for nothing.
I guess that's the only thing I did different from you guys was I didn't let them follow it down, because I was actually shaking it or trying to keep it above them in that 40 feet. Instead of letting them fall all the way down, I was actually throwing it, and just like how you would have a minnow, I would try to keep it right in front of them.
But still bottom contact with the weight?
No, I was
he was basically strolling a drop shot.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, so I was throwing a drop shot over, 100, 200 foot of water, but the fish would be in, 40 feet of water.
Dang.
So I didn't let it go down past them. Typically they would come up to the dice and they would pick up on the dice before they found the weight.
Yeah, see, I was throwing dice too, and I clear smoke color, and they were not having it.
Yeah, I found that pink was kind of the ticket because I got a largemouth on a pink mooch minnow as well.
Wow. The water's crystal clear too,
just,
so
it just seemed like they wanted pink.
Jesse, was yours the pink hazardon?
No, it wasn't. It was just a little shad color hazardon. And then actually about 3/4 of the way on through day one, I started to run out of the hazardon shads. And I wanted to save a few for day two. And I switched over to Yamamoto shad shaped worm, roughly same size, like 3 3/4 inch bait. And they were eating that one just as well. So, but both in shad colors.
Yeah. Interesting. Joey, Angler of the Year, buddy.
yeah, man.
Congrats.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations. That's one hell of a feat right there. Jesse, I mean, he's been on your tail the last 2 years. And Jesse, this year, like what we were talking about this before, Jesse, last year, because of a few things, you ended up in 3rd place. Joey, you ended up where? 2nd. This year, Joey took 1st. We're talking only a matter of what?
Maybe 2.
Yeah,
5
Joey
points,
had a pretty
4
good
points
lead on everybody this year. What was your worst thing? 2nd place?
Yeah.
3rd.
Yeah. So, yeah, it was only 4 points in, between you two. I mean, that is a close race. I mean, it was anybody's, especially leading up to that, last event. So, wow. So one hell of a feat there. Give us some outlook of the season, Joey.
Yeah. Let's see. I think I really relied on, like my Nico rig game came into play this year. It was something that I was dabbling with the end of last year and then worked on it a lot during the winter. And then it really came into play in the Thermalito tournament. Everybody seemed to be flipping and pitching. I looked for a minnow bite in practice during that one and just couldn't find it. And then the Nico just came into play on those rock walls. And then I found a rock that was just loaded with 20 inchers and they wouldn't touch a minnow and they wanted that Nico rig. Same thing at Don Pedro. Don Pedro was like a blend of minnowing and Nico rigging. But man, last year I think I won 3 out of the 5 tournaments, one being the TOC. And then I still fell short, came in 2nd. Congrats to Damien last year. He took 1st. And I was like, man, what could I have done better last year? And you know what? It came down to a matter of like, I think at Rollins, I was a 1/4 inch was a matter of like 3 or 4 places. And I could have made the difference there. And
it was tight.
I made like a long run and burned like 3 hours. I always remember that. And you take those lessons and you're like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. So just taking the lessons from last year, bringing them to this year. And man, but Jesse was there too, but Reed was really on my tail all year. And it was, I dropped 103 at Clear Lake. He dropped 106, I think, or like 108, some crazy number. And at Pedro, he had me beat too. So he was right there. He could have taken it at the Delta, the very last tournament of the year. But the Delta for me was, if I didn't do well, that would have been my drop tournament. But I ended up placing 3rd there for that one. And it was a blend of actually strolling on the Delta and then also just running topwater all day. So it felt like a really well-rounded year for me. And then ending on the Delta, probably of the 4 fisheries, that one I fish, not as well at. So to come out with a top 3 finish for the last points event, it felt really good to really round out the year.
Yeah, that's awesome, dude. So what's your plans? What are your guys' plans this next year?
I want to get into some Bassmaster events next year. Yeah,
okay.
I think they're going to come to the West again for one event, and it'd be nice to get another event on top of that.
So do some traveling back east somewhere.
If I had to guess, it's probably Havasu again.
Yeah.
Clear Lake will probably never happen. As the logistics are too tough. Yeah, realistically.
I'd like them to at least get that ball rolling, so that way it's not like a 1 month in advance notice that they're coming out to the West Coast like it was last year. You know, I think that really I think we get shafted out here, and I think, you know, a little bit has to do. I mean, everyone says, oh, well, Californians don't show up to these events. Well, we will, as long as you know. I think that Hobie event a couple years ago too, you know, we got a lot of flack for that too, because, you know, they kind of threw and sprung it on us in between two events, you know. So
there's a lot of secrecy, and then it happens, and then you already took off all your dates for your year kind of deal.
Yeah. And, you know, I mean,
I think they were trying to lock in.
It's not like,
isn't that why it took so long last year? And now that they have that relationship, the schedule should be a bit faster.
It very well could be. I mean, you know, I'm not knocking anything. It's just, you know, if you really want, I mean, it's expensive for us. I mean, for me, for Joey, I mean, Max, I mean, Jesse, I mean, we're all that's a 10, 12, 13-hour drive, you know. A lot of these events back east, you know, from state to state, a lot of the guys, it's only like 3-4 hour drive, you know, because it's such a small travel.
Texas for us, this last event at Toledo Bend, that's a 32-hour drive for me. So even one that's
okay,
center, you know, 30 hours.
Yeah. So you did fish Toledo?
No, I was planning on it, but I was waiting for my nephew to be born, and he decided to come about a week and a half late. So I didn't make the run. I stuck around for my nephew.
Yeah, that's quite a thing to be proud of. So no matter what. So yeah, that's so Jesse, focus next year. What are you you're gonna obviously stick with BAM?
Definitely gonna fish the BAM circuit again next year. And outside of that, just depends upon kind of how my schedule looks and what the tournament schedules are. But we'll probably fish BAM and maybe fish the team series again, and pick and choose a couple of Yakka Bass tournaments here and there where I can fit them in.
Yeah, the Yakka Bass guys should be grateful Jesse's not running a whole season on that side of things. He'd take some checks for sure.
John, we're back. Okay, John's back. So
hey, I'm thinking,
all right.
You guys hear me better
just in time, we're gonna shut the show down. Just kidding. Go ahead. What's up?
So Yamamoto is gonna have an open at Clear Lake, October the 25th. So it's gonna be both bass boats and kayaks. Have Pacific launch ramps to launch from. So not everybody's launching out of Canocti Harbor. So my experience over is you need to be throwing something out and reeling it in. So is a good thing to be hitting. So anyway,
yeah, so Yamamoto bait only, guys. You know, obviously you can throw like a buzz bait with a Yamamoto trailer. You know, that's approved. So but yeah, it's a Yamamoto. I mean, if you're throwing a jig, just make sure it's a double tail grub.
Yamamoto bait.
Yeah,
flapping hog. They
just come out with the
I'm kind of seeing if I can make that one.
I think too. So if you want to stroll like a Sakamata style shad, they just came out with one.
Oh, they came.
Yeah.
Oh, did they really?
Hinge minnow.
Didn't even know that. Hinge minnow. I'll have to look that one up.
And they also have the and they have the that little shad minnow too. The what's it called? The D shad.
I personally
just
would
a little
stick
tiny little bait
a jig in my hand and go drag a jig.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Max and I have the same idea.
I want to know what Max is doing next year. There's a lot of talk of retiring from the kayak game.
Yeah.
I'm retiring.
Yeah, he'll be out.
You're retiring?
I'm retiring. I'm going to, unless FOMO hits me hard enough, maybe I'll sign up and fish a couple. from work. I wish, John.
I thought he was already retired. He's out fishing all the
I
time
wish.
anyways.
No, I don't know what direction I wish to take it. I don't know. It's just tournament fishing is fun and all. It's always fun to compete. It's, it drives you to fish better and fish harder. It really does. I just don't know how many events I wish to fish. Because I started 3 years ago, and I've done cumulatively about like 90 events in the past 3 years.
You got burned out this year.
So I've done a lot of events, a lot of tournament experience, which is fun. You kind of have to go through the ringer, to learn and get that tournament mindset right. But I don't know yet. We'll kind of let it play out, let the new year come, and maybe if I feel like competing still, I'll still continue to compete. Yeah.
I think BAM might have the TOC at Eastman. Isn't that down the road from you?
No, that's just another event. TOC is going to be Shasta.
Okay.
Yeah, Shasta.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Shasta.
Yeah, I'll always love getting to Shasta.
For BAM.
For BAM TOC up at Shasta.
Oh,
is
for
the
BAM.
word.
Okay.
So
fall month.
Yeah.
Good.
So
Be a jig bite.
Well, gentlemen, I appreciate all of your time to come on tonight. Share your victories. Do appreciate it. Takes a little bit of time out of your evening, and it's always nice to get on and talk with all of you. So, Jesse, big congratulations, man, on the TOC win.
Jesse.
Yeah, it's not an easy feat, Max. Especially with some of the sticks and competing up with Joey and Max and
to have like those 5 guys behind me. That obviously makes it all the better, right? Like nobody's been more consistent or done better than that top 5 right there. So
sure,
right,
yeah. Walk proud, Jesse.
Yeah, and to win,
Joey, congratulations on that BAM AOY.
Yeah.
Drop shotting.
Thanks, Shane. Appreciate it.
So, Joey, no problem, man. Congratulations. Excited to see how far you guys go next year. Joey, I'd be excited to see you go fish some upper level competition, there on the East Coast and see how you pan out with those guys. Obviously, it's a lot more different than here on the West Coast, so it'd be kind of interesting to see where you match up with them.
I'm curious too.
And if you got that opportunity, definitely go for it. So, Max, man, I don't want to see you leave the tournament scene. It would be nice for you to. I thought when Johnny brought that up, I thought maybe you're going Croco style. Yes, I'm giving you shit, Croco. Going to the boat side, the dark side. So, but you got to take a little break.
I've considered it. I considered jumping on the co-angler side. Just to experience something new, you could say.
Yeah, in a little different pace.
Yeah, but we'll see.
And guys, again, October 12th. Go ahead, Johnny.
Don Pedro. Max. The whole thing is it.
Go ahead.
So one point in time, I fished every weekend for several months straight. And then I did it last year and I did it the year before. And it definitely gets pretty tough on you, And then so my bit of advice is pick one circuit and just dominate that one circuit, and then cherry pick some other ones. You know what I mean? You don't have to fish every weekend. We want to, trust me, I do, but
Well, I still fish
one circuit, and then
I still fish every weekend.
CBKF, BAM, So you might as well throw a little money in, and and then also Shane, we have some people to thank too.
Yeah, why don't you go for it, Johnny?
Okay, so P-Line, one of our sponsors, First Gen. If you want to get 10% off, it's Anglers RX at 10%. Anglers RX 10. You'll get 10% off.
Yep.
Obviously, Headwaters Adventures. There's 2 stores, one in Rancho Cordova and one in Redding. So,
Yep.
you know, I really enjoy their customer service, and they'll take good care of you. And then
Every time.
Bioenno batteries. Yes, that's if you want 10% off, it's capital TEN, and you'll get 10% off.
Yeah.
And then
20-year warranty, guys, and those batteries are built through the here in California. They're built here in California, warranted here in California. So
and the owner's a great
can't
guy
beat that.
too, by the way.
Yeah, Kevin's
owner's a
amazing.
good guy.
So
Yeah. So
so
also, Joey, I want to test out your little spaceship one of these days.
Oh yeah. Hey,
You can
feel
test
free.
out my spaceship.
It's almost killed me like 8 times at this point. If you don't
From
calibrate that motor,
standing up on the front.
if you don't, yeah. But if you don't calibrate that
Oh.
motor, it has a mind of its own. So you need an outboard to calibrate it because it's basically a boat motor. So
Oh, really?
make sure you calibrate those things.
Oh.
You can't deploy in the parking lot on your trailer and just drive around in a circle. That doesn't do it for that motor.
You probably could. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably
But you
could.
have to go
but with my trailer, I
45
can't
miles
deploy
an
it
hour.
without it hitting the tongue. Yeah.
Gotcha.
too long of a shaft.
Plus going
Yeah.
45 miles an hour in the
So-
parking lot. And people would be going like, what's this guy doing?
But I've been going 6 miles an hour, and then that head of the motor just goes
Great.
completely that way for no reason.
No way.
No
I
way.
control the motor.
Mhm.
I won't mention
That
which
better.
one. But when you put it on spot lock, it would go and it would go sitting still. It would just go back and forth, and then it would stop for a second, and it would just floor it, and then go. I was like, my
Yeah, that's
God,
truly a mind of
you
its
need a
own.
seatbelt for this thing. Yeah, you need a
Jeez.
seatbelt for this one. But
That's awesome.
yeah.
All right, guys, I'm going to finish this off. Again, I'm going to bring up October 12th, Sunday, guys, up at Moccasin Point at Lake Don Pedro. We are doing a fish and chill. Just bring it back to the OG style where everyone just kind of showed up to the ramp and went out and fished and maybe did some trash talking, but no money, no prizes. Don't let me catch you doing any money between friends. Otherwise, we're going to have a tough conversation. It's just to go out, build some fellowship, enjoy camaraderie, and have a little shit talking if you want to. But we're going to do a potluck. Everyone just bring
Hot dogs.
something easy. Yeah, I'll see if I can gather up some type of a propane thing. Maybe we could do some hot dogs and just chill. I mean, I'd really like to grow this to a bigger deal, but it's going to take a little bit of time and obviously some resources, but not taken away from the tournament scene. Really, I would love to utilize this to kind of get new people out, get them a little bit more comfortable with, being on a kayak, maybe helping them, with measuring and things like that, just so they can become comfortable to maybe join a Yakka Bass or Bass Angler Magazine tournament scene. So, but anyways, thank you, Headwaters, for giving us opportunity, and you guys all have a great rest of your week. Have an enjoyable time fishing on the water this weekend if you're headed somewhere. And thank you once again for being on. So you all have a good night. Congratulations. Let's see how you guys carry it on next year. So, all right, guys. take care and peace out.
See you guys.
You guys. There they go. So Joey,
Right. Yeah.
so that trolling motor gives you a little seatbelt action or what?
Oh man. Yeah, it did exactly what you were describing too. It used to, it doesn't do it anymore, but it used to go crazy on spot lock. And it was like riding a horse, just jerking you around like crazy. Yeah, it had a mind of its own. It's dialed now though. But they need a warning sticker on that thing, dude.
How'd you get it dialed? You had to go and software it, or
I had to put an NK300 on the back because there's like 4 calibration settings and 2 of them revolve going in a circle. And I tried paddling, and you cannot paddle fast enough for it to pick up on it. You get worn out before it ever completed. So the motor has to be not in use, and you need to be controlling the boat with the outboard motor.